In this video, we'll cover the location of ArcGIS Pro configurations, where they're placed once they're compiled, and also the structure of Pro configurations, and also how to launch them and execute them from a shortcut. So in another demo clip, we actually walk through how you actually can build a configuration from the out-of-the-box template. This is that same configuration, and we'll pick up from here and we'll basically just take a look at how Pro configurations are started. You need to know that they're a little bit different from an add-in in the sense that you only can execute one configuration at a time with each Pro session. And we essentially start that from within the Visual Studio experience by adding a command line option here. And that's with a /config : and then the name of the configuration that you're actually launching. Excuse me. By default, each one of your configurations is going to be named how the project is named. So in this case, it's Pro Configuration 1. And it's important for us to know so that when we actually build this, and then we look at where the configurations are actually stored, you can see in this case, there's our Pro Configuration 1, same as our project name, and this is where it's been placed. And by default, all of your configurations are placed into this public folder. So it's C users, public, documents, ArcGIS, ArcGIS Pro, configurations. You can see I've got a couple other configurations in this folder, which I've created previously from the ArcGIS Pro community samples. And highly encourage you to check those out. They're great samples and you can really learn a lot. So this configuration, once we start it again from within Visual Studio, it throws out the command line switch. Let's show you how you can do it outside of Visual Studio because this has already been compiled. What you can do is you can come out here to your desktop, create a shortcut, and then I'm just going to show you what I did as I took the path. I basically copied the path from another Pro shortcut, and then I added that command line switch within the actual path here as an option. There's once again the config, Pro Configuration 1, and that's all you need to do. So we'll start Pro with this special shortcut with the configuration name in it. And there it is. There's our custom splash screen. There's our custom start page. We'll open our project. And as we know, we also modified the about text a little bit and called it my about info. So all those things that we had modified within the configuration are there, and that's how you start it up from outside of Visual Studio and when you're distributing your configuration to your users. Last thing I wanted to basically walk through was the anatomy, basically the structure of the configuration. So we're going to make a copy or configuration, and we're going to change the extension from ProConfigX to zip file. And just like the add-in when we took a look at the structure, it's going to have the same look and structure. So again, configurations are just special add-ins with additional functionality. And you have one per session with Pro. We've got our dark images and light images themes to support our two different themes, starting at Pro 1.4. Got that special new dark theme, and we've got the images to support that. And in the install folder, you'll find there's your DLL, again, named by the project. There's our project database, and there's our config.daml. Just like in an add-in, it's a zip file with the same structure. The final thing to note is that configurations are just like add-ins in their installation. So it's just a simple double click and they're installed into, again, the default location, which is the path that we saw before, this public folder. So just like add-ins, they're distributed and installed the same way.